Video number 8. Number 8.1. My grandfather washed all his clothes, fixed a water tube pipe that's been leaking for a long time, and fixed all there is to be fixed before he was brought to the hospital. He died the next day. Our parents, aunts, uncles, and relatives talk about how he must have known of his nearing death. He's a great speaker and he always talk about putting God first and between in any events of your life. Thank you, Dr. Peter Fenwick. I feel so blessed having to learn from you of this strong knowledge. I am never afraid of death. It's a special part of my life that I now accept wholeheartedly. I wish to first be greeted by all of our good old dogs we've had and will have my whole life, then to be ushered to my grandparents and relatives. Number 8.1. As a spiritualist, I know this too. My grandmother passed 2 weeks ago. Still taking so hard on me. But when we visited her at the hospital, she made me cry because it was so cute and she knew. She said, well, this wasn't good being at the hospital the whole summer, but I hope I will get out of here before Granddad's birthday, September 14th. My grandfather has been dead for 8 years. My grandmother has never had dementia or forgot something, but in just this particular moment I think Grandpa was with us, but she made me cry. Number 8.2. 1 month before my father passed, he was in the hospital and he said Grandma came to see him and they had a nice visit for several hours. Grandma passed over 20 years earlier. Number 8.3. Yes, I've experienced it with my nan, who said a week before she died, her 2 brothers who had died had been coming to visit her. Also, she stared at the table and said, "Who's that funeral?" When asked what she can see, she answered, "A coffin and a funeral." She died 4 days later. Also, the nurse walked in front of him and he moved his head so he could see whoever he could see. Number 8.4. About a month before my father died, I went to visit he and my mom, and when I walked in, he woke up from his usual nap on his recliner. He then told both my mother and I that he had just had a long conversation with his mother. I was so dumbfounded I could not say anything. I would have liked to know, but I thought that I should be respectful of his privacy. It really caught me by surprise. I had heard of this visioning before, but never thought it would touch me so close. My mother-in-law kept saying that there was a man who would sing to her often and was very talkative about it. She never mentioned that it was anyone in her family or her deceased husband or daughter. She passed away about a week later. My mother said that my father had come to her in her sleep, but that she told him to go away because he would wake up her 24/7 companion who was sleeping on his bed next to her. She never mentioned what he had told her. She passed away about a month later. Number 8.5. My grandmother saw her father coming to get her and she said, "Dad, you look so young." She was so surprised to see him. Please subscribe, like and share with anyone that needs these comforting stories. Search for my related book on Amazon using the title of 4,000 Deathbed Vision Stories. Ken.